Good morning, everyone. おはようございます。As Mutsumi Sensei introduced me, and my name is Yukari Tori, and I'm currently serving at the San Fernando Valley Honganji Buddhist Temple. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to speak here at OCBC for the Eitaikyo service. So thank you very much, Mutsumi Sensei and Tarna Sensei. ありがとうございます。So I'd like to start my Dharma talk. And I believe many of you have heard of the significance of the Eitaikyo. At the beginning of the service, Lene-san explained what the Eitaikyo is. But once again, for those who are visiting, attending the Eitaikyo service for the first time, or those who cannot recall what it is, clearly I'd like to explain the significance of the Eitaikyo. So, Eitaikyo refers to the act of chanting the sutras. The words expound by Shakyamuni Buddha in perpetuity and for generations to come. So this act expresses our heartfelt wish that the sutras which our loved ones treasured will continue to be chanted for generations to come. And in other words, this Eitaikyo service is observed based on the wish of our loved ones who have gone to the Pure Land before us and become Buddhas. And their hope that this temple will be preserved and that the generation after generation and their children and grandchildren will listen to the teaching, the Buddha Dharma, in the future. And I have learned that RCVC, this temple is the beginning. Its beginning go back to 1920s. Back then, ministers were sent from Nishibetsu in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, to hold Dharma gathering in private homes of Jodo Shinshu followers around the area. And this year marks 60th anniversary of OCBC, right? So congratulations on your 60th anniversary. So throughout the entire history of this temple, there are ancestors and predecessors who have wished for us to receive the teachings. The opportunity we have to hear the Dharma, Buddha's teachings here is far, far, far from something that should be taken for granted. I believe you all know three treasures. Kids recited, Tana Sensei recited earlier. And three treasures tells us exactly that. Difficult is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not cross over the truths in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us, with sincerity and true reverence, take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. This is the beginning, and between the opening, the beginning, and closing passages read by the reader, there is the part everyone chant together. I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. And then the leader continues to the conclusion. The purest, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. So, to be born as human being who can hear the Buddha Dharma, Buddha's teachings, and to actually have the opportunity to hear them. This is truly, truly rare to occur, rare to happen, rare to encounter. So I have a question for you. What is the most commonly known Japanese word? It's one word. Can you guess? Do you have any ideas? Hi. Thank you. So, arigato means thank you. I believe those who don't speak Japanese even know, like everyone knows. And arigato is the word, I think, the most word I most hear since I started ministry here in America. The origin of the word arigato is said to be to come from Buddhist scriptures that speak of how being born as a human and living in this very moment is difficult to happen, rare to occur. So arigato, this word, was originally a word expressing profound wonder, becoming aware of the preciousness of human life upon hearing the Buddha's teachings. It was like a spontaneous exclamation, like, wow, this is really happening to me. Something so rare, so precious, it's happening. So even when someone does something for me, for us, for you, that doesn't happen as a matter of course. So from the joyful and humble acceptance of such precious moment, arigato came to be used as an expression of gratitude. So that we are now born as a human being and can hear the Dharma, Buddha Dharma, is indeed an extraordinarily rare and precious thing. Various researchers from different fields have expressed just how rare it is to be born as a human, using different analogies. So I'd like to share some of them. So looking at the entire universe regarding how life emerged from a state where no life existed in this vast cosmos. An astronomer had explained it as expressed like this: a monkey typing a typewriter and accidentally producing a Shakespeare novel. And also there is a geneticist has offered different analogies, different perspective on the reality of human birth. He says the probability of a single human life being born is equivalent to winning $100 million lottery 1 million times in a row. That is not happening in my life. And since Shakyamuni Buddha himself described being born as a human as difficult or rare, various parables about this appeared in the Buddhist sutras, Buddhist scriptures. Some of you may have heard the story of the turtle. A blind turtle lived at the bottom of a vast ocean. Once every 100 years, this turtle surfaces to take a breath. And at that very moment, a piece of driftwood with a single hole in it floats by, and the turtle's head happens to emerge through that hole in the driftwood. The probability of being human as a human is as rare as this. In the sutra, it says we should be grateful for it. And there's also another parable about this in the scriptures. Shakyamuni Buddha asked his disciple Ananda to compare the amount of sand. First, the sand on the entire earth versus sand in his palm. Then the sand in his palm versus sand on his fingernail. Shakyamuni Buddha taught that all beings born in this world are as numerous as the sand of the earth, but those born as human beings are only as many as the sand in the palm. And among those encountering the Buddha's teachings is even rarer. Only as many as the grains of sand on the fingernail, to fit on the fingernail. So please think about it. Why we are able to encounter the Dharma, teaching of Amida Buddha, as expounded by Shakyamuni Buddha? It is because there is a wish force to encounter the Amida Buddha. It's vow, Amida Buddha's vow. Tracing back its origin, it's because Amida Buddha made a vow for us and continue to wish for us and work toward fulfilling that vow and saying to each of us, please entrust yourselves to me. Please encounter Namo Amida Butsu that will guide you to supreme, ultimate peace. And within that working, Shakyamuni Buddha wished for us too to encounter Amida Buddha's vow and expounded that vow for us. And the Shinran Shonin wished for us too to encounter the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in which Amida Buddha's vow is embedded. And this is because Shinran Shonin himself rejoiced in the Nembutsu teaching, rejoiced in his encounter with Namo Amida Butsu, saying how joyous I am. And through the ages, in this extraordinarily rare way, we have actually been able to encounter this teaching, Amida Buddha's wish. This may be thanks to our parents, or our grandparents. For you, it may be thanks to your Dharma friends here at OCBC. But in any case, our ancestors, predecessors, who lived in the Nembutsu life, Nembutsu teaching, are wishing for us to walk the same path. So why did our predecessors wish for us to hear the Buddha Dharma, Nembutsu teaching? Why did they wish for it to be handed down from generation to generation? No matter how we recite the Nembutsu, it will not cure our illness, or it will not win. We will not win $100 million even once in our lifetime, or it will not get us a promotion in work, in job. And yet, our predecessors, as a matter of fact, lived lives sustained by the Nembutsu teaching. They knew how grateful it is to be embraced by Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion. Is anyone from Hiroshima, or do you have anyone have a roots from Hiroshima or around that area? I see some, kind of many. Thank you. ありがとうございます。 Many of the immigrants from Japan to America came from Hiroshima and surrounding areas where Jodo Shinshu was very strong. And they are said to have relied on these teachings, Jodo Shinshu teachings, as their spiritual support for surviving in a foreign land. In our tradition in Jodo Shinshu teaching, we are taught that we are embraced by Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion. And this allows us to entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha and live our life, this life, earthly life, with peace of mind. This teaching gives us reassurance and makes us be grateful for our life as it is. And it makes us simply live our lives each day, as it comes, and as we are. So as Mutsumi Sensei introduced me, as she said, I started San Fernando Temple April 2024. And in the less than 2 years of my ministry here in America, I have opportunity to conduct funeral memorial services for longtime members of San Fernando, mainly first and second generation. In listening to the story of them from their families, it is true, they experienced the camps and endured many hardships and difficulties. However, no matter what many hardships they faced, I've heard so many times from their families how they kept saying arigatai or grateful about the life they were living. I imagine that their lifelong resilience came from the peace of mind of being embraced by Amida Buddha. And this is why they were able to live with constant feeling of gratitude toward their surroundings. And I believe the same is true with the pioneers of this temple or CVC. And I believe many of you remember the dedication and devotion your families and ancestors poured into establishing this temple, the countless efforts they made, step by step, to create this place where we can hear the Buddha Dharma. And each of them became involved with this temple under various causes and conditions. But one thing is certain, they all relied on the Nembutsu teaching as their spiritual foundation and continued to preserve it. In the Calling newsletter, November issue, reflecting on his journey at OCBC from preschool days until today, Brian Furumoto-san. Brian-san is sorry, I didn't ask your permission, but I like to share your words. At calling, Brian-san wrote, "The compassion, friendship, and support my family and I received over the years have enriched our lives beyond measure. This spirit has been passed down from the time of the first and second generations, its pioneers of here at OCBC, to this very day. And going back even further, countless predecessors who were sustained by the Nebut's teaching of Amida Buddha, have wished to share the teaching with many people. And Shinran Shonin was the one of them. And it was Shinran Shonin who made this teaching accessible to anyone. Joanne-san, is she here today? Maybe not. And, are? Hi. Sorry for you. sorry for you not to ask your permission to use this. I found it from the video I'm on CBC, and I just captured and cropped it. So I'd like to share what she said in the video. Joanne-san reflected on the wish her father held. On the groundbreaking day, it is the groundbreaking day for OCBC's building in this location, I believe. And Joanne-san imagined her father must have been thinking something like this for her. This is all for you, for your generation. We've worked so hard for you. So please keep it going. And now, all of you continue that legacy, carrying on their tradition, carrying on their dedication to keep this temple alive, to preserve this sacred space for the generations to come. And I am sure that you are all working so hard, preparing for the 60th anniversary celebration. Your ancestors and predecessors must be truly delighted to see all of you living in the Nembutsu and continuing to help OCBC flourish more, just as they wished. And this is from Rafu Shimpo, and the three treasures, as the three treasures says, difficult is it to be born into human life, and difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha. Through the wishes of Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and Shinran Shonin, and the countless predecessors, and our ancestors, your ancestors, and the various causes and conditions, we are able to encounter this teaching that is so difficult encounter. So let us rejoice together that we can share this teaching of Namo Amida Butsu here at OCBC. And reflecting on the dedication and the devotion of your predecessors, ancestors, who have handed down this place to us under the light of Amida Buddha. Let us put our palms together and in Gassho and recite the name Butsu together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda.